So, hello and welcome to my next chess video. This time I show you the game between Monarch 1.7 with the white pieces versus Fritz 17 pop CNT. I let them play without opening book or table bases as always. And here I let them play this position you see here on both sides actually. I let them play the Grunfeld with actually after e4 not knight takes c3 but knight b6, which is somewhat different, but okay. This is the opening. I let them play and let's see what we get here. See, probably knight c6 we will see. Pawn here, knight e4, knight takes, pawn takes, f4, bishop here. This is what I have feared with the move e5. But okay, you can start undermining with this pawn move. Although d6 is a little bit problematic. Okay, bishop here, bishop there, bishop there, bishop takes, pawn takes, let's say castles, and queen d2. How do you actually keep that pawn? You could go b6, b3, and after rook f d8 you could try and defend it with that move, but after this you are somewhat, yeah, you defend the pawn for one, but I don't think you can keep it. Next move you're gonna lose it most probably. So here bishop takes, rook takes. Yeah, you lost it. So moving the pawn forward is not especially pleasing. Okay, we have the move e4 at d5, so probably knight e5 now. So probably we see that knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, and bishop g5 is what Fritz is giving with the move bishop g5. But what about f6 here? Okay, f6, I'm not sure about that. You can do something like this, but then h5 could come at some point. You have this bishop to g4 with bishop e3 to come and stuff like this, so it's not so simple to face that. f4 is a little bit more forcing, but bishop g5, bishop g5. Okay, let's just ignore this and go bishop and queen d2. Okay, then knight here comes. So let's say after bishop g5 you prevent this knight by playing that one. Okay, you can always grab this, but after queen takes, rook takes, pawn takes, and f4, let's say, you can keep being on that diagonal and make a blockade here, so there is nothing coming in. So let's say castles, f6, bishop here, and e5. Although e5, yeah, e5, takes, bishop takes, bishop here check, g3. No, bishop here check doesn't work because the knight is covering that square. So what exactly is white doing here? White hasn't got so much. White has nothing actually here. This f4, e5, e6, bishop f3 you could try, and after takes, knight takes, bishop takes, but bishop e6, and I don't see anything here. This endgame is, I think, pretty standard. Okay, white is a little bit better, but not much. White has probably nothing here, so knight c6 is a move here, and after you don't have to fear d5 and f4 later. For you could also maybe try and do that, but I don't think this is so wise. Just c4, c5, and bishop here. Now you have to defend the pawn somehow, and now you can go e3 and you have a protected passer. Okay, you can do that, but this would also lose your pawn, so this is not wise. Taking the knight after f4 is not wise. Knight takes a4. Knight takes a4 is what Monarch thinks is a good move. Yeah, a4, a5 could be annoying. Although knight d7, not sure what to do with that bishop, so I would go a5 here. Knight takes, bishop takes, of course. 5a4, let's say castles. It's not so simple. Knight d2 anyway. Let's say f4, bishop back, and knight b4. c3 takes, knight here. You can always protect the pawn, or you can also push it to c5. Although pushing it to c5, I'm not quite sure about that, because knight here attacking the queen, and then okay, what next? Okay, you can go bishop b4, and this looks kind of silly actually. So takes, knight here c5, I wouldn't do that. I would go bishop here. Take queen there, knight here. You can also go knight here or knight there. Actually keep on attacking the pawn. I'm not sure. Bishop here might be a move, queen here might be a move. Okay, let's say, oh, no. Bishop e3, because there is now a threat. Bishop e3, rook c8, and now you can pile up on this poor c pawn. But this is, I think, quite nice, because after pawn takes, now the rook is under attack as well as the queen. The queen and the bishop is under attack, so you have to do that. Takes, and now you have to move the queen. So you move it here. Takes, knight takes, queen takes knight, queen takes knight. Queen here, check, winning the bishop. So it's not so simple actually to do something there. Oh no, you have rook there, but you can get the pawn back. And this is actually, oh wait, I missed something. Queen here, check, you cannot block with the rook because of rook takes rook check, which would be pretty terrible actually, because now you have to move the king or block with the rook. No, you can't block with the rook, have to move the king, and now you lose the rook as well. So this is pretty terrible, actually, this move. So you kind of have to move the rook and lose the bishop, so this doesn't work. You can't grab the knight. So you cannot grab the pawn, so you have to move the queen. And you have to keep on defending the knight. But then this one comes, which would win the bishop, because this is a discovered check. So it's not so simple to win that pawn. Yeah, we have the move a5. a4, I mean a5 and bishop to h6. Not a5, bishop h6 is a nice little move, which Fritz says, okay, you can go back with the bishop, but keeping that bishop alive is, I think, something you want to do, at least for once. Bishop takes, king takes, and queen d4 check. King here. Can start marching forward. c5 takes, takes. This is something nice. Bishop, queen here, bishop there. Although there is also the move bishop h6, h3. You have to get rid of this bishop somehow. I think it's a pretty solid opening as far as I look at with knight c6. In my game versus Monarch 1.7, I didn't play this because of that. I feared that move, but you don't have to fear this. I played knight d7 with the idea of c5, but knight c6 looks better. So we have a5, and now bishop. So this is the game continuation. f4 wasn't played. We have a4, a5, and not castles. There are two options now. Either you go f4, e5 at some point, or you go bishop h6, which I would prefer to f4, but f4 is also interesting. You grab the knight, you have to go back. Yeah, we have f4. No, bishop takes c3 check is the move. Bishop c3 check. Oh, because you want to go, I see, you want to go e3. And if you take this, then you don't retake, you give this check. King f1, rook here, attacking the queen. Okay, you have this one. No, you don't, because this comes with check, and then you can take the pawn, or you can take it immediately. So rook here maybe, and then bishop, queen takes, king takes, and bishop takes. And I don't think black has any problems here. Black should be a little bit better because the structure here is a little bit wrecked. Although white has a bishop pair, so maybe something like this could happen. Let's see both evaluations here. This is, oh, bishop g7 is the move I recommended at first. Bishop g7. Okay, and let's now see both evaluations. Fritz gives it as equal as well as Monarch. So let's see what's going on there. I will go bishop e3 now, so you can block this, and after c6, pawn takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, doesn't really matter which rook, I think, takes and castles, although rook d2, b3, rook there, rook takes, and rook here. Well, also this pawn is currently hanging, so you cannot push it, so you have to defend it. then no, bishop here doesn't work. Bishop here. What about taking it? Yeah, taking the knight is just winning a piece. I just saw that. So it's actually not so simple how to react to this. Bishop takes, queen takes, castles and rook here. If you defend the pawn, then bishop takes, pawn takes, and bishop takes, rook takes bishop. So it's not so simple. Okay, we have bishop e3. Bishop e3 and now e6 is my expectation. 6, of course, to take is a mistake, as they say. Just castle. Takes, pawn takes. You could also try after takes to take it with a knight, and you don't have to fear this one because, okay, kind of because of this check. Rook goes back, and now you have bishop. No, this check doesn't work because the queen can just take it. So takes, and now knight takes. Rook takes here. And it seems as though white... I'm not sure, because the bishop pair is also something. But there's the threat of knight takes bishop followed up with taking the pawn here. So rook here, knight takes bishop still, pawn takes bishop, and rook, let's say, to this square. Okay, you can do that. You can also just go rook here. Yeah, there is a 2-to-1 pawn majority on the queen side. Okay, we have moves. We have e3 and queen b3 now. So adding some attacks to the knight. Queen b3. E takes d5. Knight takes, knight takes, queen takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, rook here, bishop all the way back. Yeah, white should be worse. Okay, we have here a5, f4, bishop g7, bishop e3, e6, and queen b3. And now taking. I'm not sure why white isn't losing a pawn here. White is probably losing a pawn there. Yeah, Fritz is now giving this as a lot better for black. Queen b3 wasn't the greatest of all moves. Queen b3, pawn takes. No, you don't have to. There is queen b3, pawn takes, and now you can take it with a knight. You can take this, and now you have that one going after the b pawn. But okay, you can defend it with bishop here. Now let's say castles, bishop here, and you don't have so much discoveries. You probably have none. You could go queen here, threatening this check, which would result into mate, for example, knight here check, king here, knight here, discovered check, and if the king goes back, then this is a mate. So there are options. White isn't losing a pawn here, but white has to give up the dark square bishop. Knight takes d5. What Monarch is thinking. Why actually? Knight takes, pawn takes. Okay, knight takes d5. Knight takes d5, knight takes d5, pawn takes d5, e takes d5 is the move. But then rook to the e file. Okay, at some point you have to castle, probably castling this direction. Probably castling that direction. Bishop f5. Not sure about bishop f5 because, okay, you can get this with tempo. Rook here. Then queen b6. Queen takes here is not on because of this checkmate. So there are options. I don't like white's position here actually, because rook e8 is just pretty nice. Knight takes d5. I will go knight takes d5. Queen takes d5 is what Monarch is, what Fritz is thinking, but this would give up the b pawn. Is it possible to win it back? That's the case. That's the question though. Knight takes, queen takes, queen takes, pawn takes, and bishop takes here, attacking the rook. Rook here, let's say bishop check. Bishop blocks, bishop takes, bishop takes. Yeah, bishop f5, you lose the pawn, so let's say b3. Okay, you can go here. Yeah, black is up a pawn after all. So knight takes. I doubt that we see queen takes. I think we see pawn takes. Yeah, e takes d5 will be the move. E takes d5, rook f e8, and then yeah, bishop takes b2 is still a threat after castling, because you get the e3 bishop, so you kind of have to move the bishop somewhere. But if you move it here, then maybe b3 and bishop e3 is coming. So let's say rook there, bishop e3, rook there to defend, queen here, queen there. Yeah, white is completely on the defensive. I don't like white's position here. E takes d5, bishop. I would have taken the knight actually, but e takes d5, knight takes d5, knight takes d5, e takes d5 is, I think it's wrong. It looks wrong to me. Queen h4 check also looks nice. Queen h4 check, if you block it with the bishop, then the f pawn is hanging. So you kind of have to move the king. Kind of have to move the king though. Let's say king here, f4 takes, rook here, say rook d8, rook takes, queen takes, bishop here, queen there, you have to defend. Bishop here, no, it doesn't work. You don't have to take it with the pawn, you can take it with the queen. So this doesn't work. But queen h4 is also nice, followed up with bishop f2. So let's say, yeah, king f2. It's minus 1.85. So it doesn't look as though that white is surviving this. Queen h4 check is pretty devastating actually. Queen h4 check. Doesn't look as though that Monarch 1.7 can survive this. Bishop f2 losing the f-pawn should be the best, but not quite sure. King f2. King d2 will be played. King d2 most probably. And then c6. Yeah, c6 is pretty devastating. Monarch still gives this as playable. You cannot take this. So let's say you play rook f1 or something. Rook here, queen takes, bishop here, queen moves to that square, and then you can start checking. Check, 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 takes, and rook here, and it should be pretty over this position, because now you threaten this check with the rook and you threaten the bishop. So let's say bishop here, cannot save everything, rook here, and now now you vacated this square, and this is mate, actually also winning the bishop. So you kind of, after this, you kind of have to go there to keep this diagonal. Check. Now you take this pawn. Threatening rook here, check. Let's see, rook here, check. No, not this. Just after this, just play that one. And if this, then you still have that check in petto. It's just a terrible position. King d2 we have on the board. Rook f e8 will be the move. Rook f e8 instead of c6. Rook f e8. I will go bishop here. Rook f e8. Sorry. Rook f e8. King d2, rook f e8. It doesn't look healthy for the black position, for the white position. Minus 2.67, if I can read correct. I think it's close to over. this position, but I don't actually see the threat. Rook AC1 is what Monarch is thinking is a good move. Rook AC1. With 14 additional minutes. Going after that pawn, but c6. Okay, takes. Rook takes, bishop here attacking the rook. Rook here, bishop there. So let's say rook stays on this file. Bishop b3, check. Let's say the king goes back. Bishop takes pawn. Rook here, bishop there attacking the rook. Rook here. I wouldn't do that. I would just go here, pinning the rook. So rook takes, pawn takes, king here. Doesn't look healthy. This position for white. Down a pawn and the king so wide open. The other option is just to give that check, which is a better option actually, because now you can get the queen. Takes, and now queen here, also getting one of the bishops most probably. No, the king defends it, but queen up, so this is one option you can go about it. So I don't see anything here for white. Bishop f5 is played. Bishop f5. So why can't you take this? I really want to sacrifice the rook there, but I don't know if it's working. You could go here. It's also not quite safe. Bishop b3. Rook here. Rook there. Not quite sure, but it looks terribly strong. Bishop f5, cutting this diagonal. So now the escape squares are covered. What about this? Bishop here, let's say rook there. No, you don't want to let this pawn go. Bishop f2 we have. Bishop f2. The other option was to take this, but after that, let's say takes bishop here. I'm not sure why this wasn't played. There are actually options I will cover later, but here in that position, rook e8, rook there, bishop f5 and bishop f3. In that position c7 to c6. Now the pawn is sacrificed. I wouldn't take it. I would go push it. Rook, the other rook coming to the d file. And if the bishop defends it, then I would just grab it with check, bishop takes, and coming in with the queen. Check. There is only one square where you can go. This is that one. And now rook here, attacking the queen. So let's say you take this, but then this is mate. So it's pretty busted. But the thing is, after bishop f5, why can't you take this pawn? Let's say you go here, bishop there. Bishop takes, pawn takes. Bishop e4, bishop f3. Bishop takes, pawn takes. Don't quite see it why this doesn't work. So let's just not do that. What about rook takes bishop? Queen takes bishop and queen here. Going after the rook, rook c5. Rook here. Rook there, rook takes, threatening this, so the queen has to go there. Now going here, threatening the d-pawn. Queen b6 back, and I think I screwed the position. So what's the deal here? Bishop, rook takes c7. Okay, we have g4 now. g4. After c6 we have g4, so bishop f5, bishop f3, c6 and g4. This is the current board position. Bishop e4, bishop takes, rook takes. Rook here is the threat. So let's cover this. Rook there. Rook here still, attacking the bishop. So the bishop is covered. Bishop takes, rook takes, and queen here check. Still it's not safe, because now this rook is hanging. If I attack, and there is also this mate threat, which you cannot really cover. So let's say you cover the queen, and this is checkmate. So it's not so simple actually to defend this. But my question was, after bishop f5, why wasn't that played? Let's keep it simple. Rook here, bishop there. No, this rook to the d file. Let's grab this pawn. Rook takes, queen takes, rook here. Now you have to give up the queen. Check. Yeah, but it's still material, so I would go rook there. And after this, I would go rook here going after the bishop. So where can the bishop move? Actually can move nowhere. So you have to take this. Rook takes. Another threat is to go here and grab that pawn. So let's cover this. But now this check comes. So it's actually really not simple to do anything here. See queen here. It's not so simple. It's not so simple. Queen here, attacking the bishop, attacking the rook. Rook has no squares. It has squares. Yeah, we have this. We are at that position currently. Wait. King d2, rook e8, rook c3, bishop f5, bishop f3, c6, g4, bishop here, bishop takes, rook takes. This is the current board position, and to be honest, it's quite bad for white, but material is still equal, so white can still screw it. But -5 versus -1.44, so it shouldn't be that hard now to convert. Oh, this is a terrible move, because that one, or rook e8 is also nice. Rook e8, d6, rook e8, d3, rook takes. Okay, then you can get that one with check, and you have to grab it. So this is a nice little trick. So rook a e8, d3, but you can just bring the queen back. Let's see that one. Now I can grab this one. This, that. It's still not simple. Still not simple. So there are tricks. Bishop takes, queen here. But I doubt that this will work. Check. Rook here, d6, d7. After this, I wouldn't take the bishop though. I wouldn't take it. I think there is something else in the position. I would go here. And after this, I would grab this pawn with check. So d7, queen e8, queen d8. Still there is a fight going on. Monarch is fighting for its life, playing pretty good chess with some really nice tricks here up its sleeve, but I don't think it will help him in the end. 8 versus 4 minutes. d7, rook e d8 instead. Rook e d8, queen takes b7, rook takes, queen here check, queen here check, only squares that one, and now queen here check, and now you get the pawn. It's actually not so simple. There is a check, rook here, king there, queen here check, so you go up, then this is a mate. No, it's not. King has one more step, but you win the queen. With a discovered check. And you can't even take the pawn. Okay. So I think it's rook here. Now he starts to defend. I would simply grab this pawn. So we have rook c4, rook e7, king c2 will be played according to Monarch 1.7. So it's close to be over, this game. I don't think that Monarch will survive this much longer. Move 24 versus Fritz 17 pop CNT. Queen g3 now. Bishop here most probably. Bishop takes, rook takes. 6 versus 5 pawns. This is one of the best things Monarch can get out of this, but also after that you don't have to grab the queen. You can do that, check, and now grab this, no, you can't go there. You could go there, but yeah, you can go here, but then this check is just removing everything. Queen g3, threatening the bishop. Bishop d2. This is how you play the Grünfelds from start to finish. And let's see how much minutes. 50:49. This game is close to be finished. Rook d1 will be played. Queen g2, rook d1 will be played. This will be the board position. Yeah, queen e3, the only move. What about bishop takes? Takes. You can win a second pawn if you want, but it's not necessary to do that. You can also go rook here. Rook here, I don't know. Then takes. Giving up the rooks for the queen. Although, rook c2 takes, king takes, and now queen here check. You cannot block due to the bishop, and you cannot keep defending the rook, so you have to move back, and then something like this is pretty devastating. Yeah, rook here. Rook here is pretty devastating. So rook, queen e1. And now queen d5. Where is the rook going? Oh my god, oh I see. I now see this. Oh my god, you kind of have to give up the rook now. Because if you go there, then this check is leading to a mate. So you kind of have to give up the rook now. Best way of giving up the rook is to play it to here. Rook takes, bishop takes, rook takes, queen takes, queen takes. No, this is also mate. So you have to take it with the pawn. But then this check comes. This is so devastating. This is such a devastating stuff. Yeah, the only thing is, yeah, queen d5 is just instantly winning. After queen d5, you can resign. Queen d5, because going rook c3, bishop takes. You have to go pawn takes, and after this check, taking this. You cannot even move the bishop. If you move the bishop, then the rook is hanging. So you kind of, and if you do that, then you can still take, no. Yeah, you could and you will win, but this is just immensely better. Because you just wait for the mate, and it will happen. This is just over. Yeah, queen d5 will win on the spot. Queen d5. Is there a mate? No, but minus 16 with queen d5. Yeah. Queen d5 is just a monster move now. Oh, it's even worse. You get the pawn with check. I just recognize. Because you give that check. Now you give that check. Now you give that check. No, you don't get the pawn with check, but you get the pawn. Check. And queen takes, no, not queen here. Just queen takes pawn. You could also try some trickery with that check going there. And now this one. And if you take it, then check and mate. So you can also try some trickery here. Rook here, and if you, for example, go there, then this check, followed up with that check, followed up with that check. So you can do stuff like this, but it's completely unnecessary. You should just take the pawn. You should just take the pawn and remove everything from the white's position. I think we can stop the analysis here. So 1 minute 38, last time control has been reached. Both engines mate in 9 according to Fritz 17. So yeah, b5. Yeah, you can't do anything here. b5 ab. Mate in 7, mate in 8. Both engines are now thinking that this is over. f5. So, the game has finished. The game has finished indeed. And I have actually only one question which I want to ask Fritz. And the other thing is, on the live book, when did we reach a position which has never been reached before? knight takes a5. Was a5 played before? Live book a5 is not in the books. Book bishop h6 is the move played 2 times, or castles in the live book, but a4 is a new move and it's not the best, I guess. Let's see what Fritz says to this move. Equal immediately. Here the question is, after bishop f5, why wasn't this played? New variation. Bishop here. Okay, you take it. Queen f4. You go there. Oh, it's a double attack. It's also attacking the rook. So you kind of can't take the bishop. You also can. Oh, this is the reason why. Bishop d5. Nice one. Okay, nice one. Nice one. Okay. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Ciao.